Good morning, everyone. For those who I have met, my name is Frank Linehan. I've had the privilege of being the interim executive director since June here. There are big shoes to fill with Toby, and I know that Sandra will create an even deeper imprint of Drexel into this region. Before we start, before I introduce President Fry, I just want to take a moment to thank the community. It's been wonderful living here for the last 5 months. You've all been very warm, very hospitable. You have this little one-bedroom place in Capitol Towers, but it seemed like the whole community has embraced not only me, but really as a representative of Drexel. And it's much more important, as I felt, as a symbol and as a steward over the last 5 months and handing all over the reins to the successor. Whether it be our business partnership with Jane, who has kept me on the straight and narrow, or our discussions with Valley Vision to get our faculty out more involved, and even having coffee with Martha and talking about the horrors of being an interim anything. So this all began with a very brief conversation with Joanne Westman. We were talking at a breakfast in June, and saying, if you know anybody, this is the type of person we want. And Joanne says, I think I have the perfect candidate. And I think today is our affirmation of your original thought, Joanna, so thank you. So with that, I want to turn this over to President Fry, and he's going to lead us through the event. Thank you.
So I had a typical Frank encounter this morning. We met for coffee, and I congratulated him and thanked him for what he did. And it's not only an act of leadership that he's obviously shown his capability as a leader during his time here, but also an act of deep citizenship to do what he did. I mean, he's a very highly regarded, very busy, very visible associate dean at our remote college of business. He has a big career, his family, everything going on in Philadelphia. And we call him up and we say, how about moving 3,000 miles away for an undetermined period of time to sort of take up the role that Toby had so capably played. And Frank said yes. He didn't really have to say that, but he did. And so I went out of my way to say, thank you for the leadership, thank you for the citizenship. And he stopped me right away. He said, look, this is, you're giving me credit I don't deserve. The credit belongs to my faculty, my professional staff, my students, the people who make the center what it is. And, Frank, that's what we love about you. In the end, we love that you're capable, that you're a strong leader, that you're a great citizen, and we also love the fact that you're so self-effacing, you're so modest, but you have really built a very, very important bridge between the startup phase of this and now as we move into its maturation. So congratulations on the amazing work. I'd like to welcome everyone. This is a great crowd, and I'm really appreciative of everyone taking the time. And for me, it's a real pleasure to be here in Sacramento again. I think this is my third trip since I became president a little over a year ago. And I think for many of us in Philadelphia, we consider Sacramento our second us, and their support today has been invaluable. We partnered with some of Sacramento's leading nonprofit organizations. We're a university that prides ourselves on intensive civic engagement with our neighborhoods and with our region, and to see that playing out here in Sacramento is very gratifying to us. And from all these groups, we were lucky enough to gather a board of advisors for Drexel and Sacramento that helped us to understand and to better serve and to thrive in this wonderful region. And that group has really been instrumental over the last year as it's come together and helped us think about the future in terms of how we build out our Drexel network here in the Sacramento region. But most important, trumping everything I just said, are these incredible students. I mean, these are going to be the future leaders of this city and this region, and it has been a delight to teach them, to learn from them, to work with them, and we can't tell you how happy we are. In fact, one of the really nice moments at our Philadelphia commencement last June was when a good-sized group of Drexel Sacramento graduates got their diplomas, and they were really so warmly received. I think people were really proud of what they did, but also really happy that they trekked 3,000 miles to Philadelphia to receive again their degree. Although I guess maybe they had already received their degree. They received their degree here 2 weeks later, but they came out to our place first. And so that I think just, sort of reinstilled the fact that this is one university, even though it serves two coasts right now. And so our students have created a culture of academic excellence, collaboration, as I mentioned before, civic engagement, and actually it's in the same sort of spirit that Drexel University has been working on for the last 120 years in Philadelphia. And I as a newcomer, when I came, I think it was 3 weeks into my presidency, I came, and I was so struck after the first day, and I mentioned this to Toby on the way to the hotel that night. I said, this really feels like Drexel here. This doesn't feel like some sort of a remote outpost. This feels like the same people that we deal with back home, and that's really a tribute to the faculty and to the staff and to the students and to their leadership. So our efforts reached their first milestone last June when we conferred approximately 100 degrees at the Sacramento commencement ceremony, and this means that not only do we have these wonderful students with Drexel degrees, but we also have alumni in this area, and alumni that will contribute to our network and help us build going forward. So it's been an incredible journey for this university to create the center and to earn, I think, a very important place in the higher education landscape in California over a very short period of time. And so we're putting down our roots. We're very, very grateful for the way we've been received. We're going to add new programs. We're going to recruit more and more outstanding students. And we're finding, hopefully, during this process, new ways to serve Sacramento and contribute to a bright future for the region. So we have a very special guest here today, someone whose schedule makes all of us look at ours and realize what an easy day we have. And Sui is here. Speaking of commitment to this region and its people, it's really an honor and a privilege to welcome you. Representative Matsui represents the California 5th District in the United States Congress. She's been a friend to this center from its inception. As she always does, she's advocated tirelessly for her constituents during the development of our programs that I think have really given us an important set of guideposts as we put this whole center together. She's an honorary member of our board of advisors, and her willingness to engage with Drexel helped establish the credibility that we enjoy right now and help us make many, many connections in Sacramento. And so we are going to strive to live up to the faith that you've put in us, and we welcome you to offer some remarks, and thank you for being here.
Thank you so much, President Fry, and I want to say hello to all of you. It's a wonderful day, and it's an especially wonderful day. I'm really delighted to be here. I remember when Drexel first came into town, and I heard about Drexel before because it's a well-established university on the East Coast. But to see what happened here, and in fact growing the roots here, was, to me, unbelievable. And their outreach was fabulous too. They just did not want to be a university with a center, with an outpost here. They really wanted to be here, and they wanted to be able to participate in the community, and not only do that, grow here, graduate students here, have them work here, and have them become part of the community as we look forward to the future. As you said, Toby was here as sort of a startup. He created a magnificent startup here. The faculty is absolutely wonderful, and the students, magnificent. you have no better ambassadors than your students. And quite frankly, with your first graduating class and the subsequent ones, you're going to have fabulous alums moving forward. And this is a wonderful day for me because I can be here to celebrate with you. Sandy has been a wonderful friend of mine. We worked together many times. Her leadership role at Los Rios has been magnificent. You're going to feel your loss. I understand perfectly well why Joanna recommended you, because we saw that in you so many times. As a leader of the foundation at Los Rios, being vice chancellor there, and being involved in all manner of activity in an institution there which is critical for the education system here in California. And what she's done there has left behind something to be proud of. And Drexel is very lucky to get you. You have the wonderful vision, the intelligence. And another word we use a lot of in Sacramento, collaboration. She knows how to work with people. And that is the key to success in this region. Whether she works with local elected officials or state officials, federal officials, business people, the labor groups, students, you name it, Sandy has been able to work with them. And I do applaud you for realizing that about Sandy. And for Sandy, I look forward to this next chapter in your life. Sandy and I talk a lot about chapters, and this is a magnificent chapter in your life. So I congratulate you, I congratulate Drexel for everything you've done and what you will be doing under Sandy's leadership. So thank you very much for allowing me to say a few words here.
Thank you, Representative Tsui. So I'm really excited now to sort of do the formalities to introduce Sandra Kirschenmann as the new Executive Director of Drexel Center for Graduate Studies in Sacramento. She is my newest colleague. We actually just met. We've had a good session this morning, and I have all these remarks that they gave you, but let me just sort of put that aside and say, you have the heart of a brave leader, I can tell that. You have spent 30 years building an institution, which is no small piece of work, and at a stage maybe where you can sort of step back and kind of look at that and say, I've really accomplished something big. You've done the harder thing. The harder thing is then to say, now what's the next mountain that I can climb here? And we really need your leadership. We're at a wonderful, wonderful point, and the best is yet to come to the center, and we absolutely could not think of a better person. Thanks.
Well, this is all a bit overwhelming, I must say, but I am absolutely exuberant to be here, and I am embracing eagerly the new Drexel family, who I have the highest regard for. In this audience right at this moment are people of my blended families, and I'm so honored by the presence of so many of you. I am honored by President Fry coming out all the way from Philadelphia for this morning, honored by the Congressman and those incredibly kind remarks, and to shuffle her schedule around just to be with us today. And it's a truly grand day because we are reaffirming the commitment that Drexel University has made to Sacramento, I think in the best way possible, by bringing all of you in the room with us. I'd like to point out some of the business leaders that are in this room that I would like to meet our new Drexel colleagues. And I'm just going to go across here. Dan Noel, please raise your hand. Dan Noel is a senior executive with AT&T. Dan will be named tomorrow the Volunteer Fundraiser of the Year by the Association for Fundraising Professionals. He's been at my side for the last, I don't know, 6 or 7 years, I believe. He is a fundraiser extraordinaire and has been chairman for the Los Rios Foundation and is just a force multiplier for AT&T, where he does great business throughout California. And right in the next row, Dan Throgmorton, a colleague of mine from the Los Rios Community College District. He is our Workforce and Economic Development Associate Vice Chancellor. He knows all of you because he works this network very carefully and well across the region, and he will help us blend these families going forward. Next to Dan is Robin Purdy, who's representing the Sacramento Employment and Training Agency, a partner for any educational institution who understands how to get good work done. That woman has been responsible for more money coming into Sacramento to train more people to take more good jobs than anybody either. Thanks. Next to Robin is Christine Ault, communicator extraordinaire, used to work for the Metropolitan Chamber, now has her own business and advises me on the right messages every time I can. She is phenomenal. I would recommend her work to you. Thanks for coming, Christine. And then there's Jim Allen of the Safe Credit Union. Safe Credit Union is a good partner to many entities throughout Sacramento. Jim is the Vice President for Community Banking, also a fundraiser extraordinaire. He's representing all of his colleagues at SAFE who work in nonprofit groups all across town to build this civic engagement for Sacramento. He knows business and finance like nobody out there. We've met Joanna already. I thank you again, my friend, for offering up my name and this opportunity. It's a great pleasure to stand in front of you today and say thank you. Bill Mueller is the CEO and President of Valley Vision, who is going to lead Sacramento along with Sardin and Metro Chamber and SACTO and other entities toward our new strategic planning process, Next Economy. Bill, we're very glad you're here today. We were talking earlier today about that plan, and we want to engage in every way you'd like us to engage. We stand ready to help you, sir. Right behind Bill are two partners. They're our law partners, Martha Lofgren and Roy Brewer. Of course, Martha right now, the interim CEO, there's that interim again, Frank. The interim CEO of the Metro Chamber, and Roy has been the chairman of the Los Rios' capital campaign for fundraising. He has done a magnificent job. Mrs. Matsui joined us just the other day in the groundbreaking ceremony for a brand new building to honor construction and architecture technology in this town. Thank you, Roy, for all the money you raised for us, and that's no small thing for you either, Martha. Those are two great fundraising folks back here and great friends, and really civically engaged people. Now, oh, Barbara Hayes and Teresa Page is here. Teresa Page, raise your hand. The architect of the year. And the woman who brought LPAS to Los Rios to create the great 3 stages at Folsom Lake College. Another great fundraiser, by the way. These are secrets, I'm not. And next to her is Barbara Hayes, President and CEO of SACTO, the Sacramento Area Commerce and Trade Organization, a great partner to education. And we here at Drexel University stand ready to partner with you, and you are trying to recruit firms for this region. Barbara will be happy to be your partner, as we've been your partner in Los Rios in years past. It'll be a pleasure to do more business with you. Now, who else I missed? There's Dave Butler in the back, President and CEO of Linking Education and Economic Development, a very important group of people who work hard every day to bridge that link. Not an easy one to bridge. Dave, thank you for that. And maybe Jane Einhorn is also our partner. You may try, but you can't hide. And Jane has been a member of the Los Rios Foundation, has given us incredible messaging potential, done some wonderful pro bono work for us, a grand member of our foundation, and lives right here in this building, so how great is that? Well, all of you, thank you so much for coming. This is truly a wonderful day for all of us. Indeed, a fabulous day for Sacramento, as I said earlier. I want to just take a couple of minutes before we break and tell you what it is I see about Drexel that I think is so perfect for Sacramento. I've had a few of these conversations in the couple of months past. I remember one in particular with Bill Mueller, who, after I started waxing poetic about the values and things that Drexel stands for, Bill said to me, "Sandy, why don't we know this?" And I said, "Bill, we've got to fix this. So let me take 2 minutes and maybe try to communicate the same things today that I did that day." You know, there are some unique characteristics about this institution that has come to Sacramento. And I think they are perfect for this region. And I will name 3, just to make it simple. There are more than that, but let me name 3. First, there is this incredible understanding of the experiential and cooperative work experience space. There's a young woman in the back, raise your hand, who is a co-op student right here in Sacramento. I think she's working in Jane's shop.
She's
getting her
wonderful.
Work experience
Don't
right
take
here.
her away.
This work experience space is one that recognizes that students need both a degree and a resume. And when they finish school, they should have a goal. You know, just this morning I was explaining to President Fry, I watched the news, and there was a young man who had a wonderful degree in computer information technology with an emphasis on information security. He's been looking for work for 4 years because there's no experience on his resume. Now, there's something really wrong with that. And I think that Drexel has recognized years ago that students need to come out of their educational programs with both. That's a real hallmark of the undergraduate programs at Drexel, but it's an ethos that I think pervades everything they do at both the graduate level and the undergraduate level, and one that we will embrace heartily, I believe, in Sacramento. A second characteristic that I explained to Bill that day is the entrepreneurial spirit, the creativity, and the innovation. There's just no shying away from change in the Drexel organization. There's an embracing of change. There's an eagerness to innovate. There's an eagerness to be creative and to create the future and to create the jobs of the future. And I believe that's exactly what we need to do here in Sacramento. And third, there is, of course, this incredible network potential. All of the technical people that work for Drexel here in this room have created the most remarkable audio and video telecommunications pathway. And we're going to be able to take full advantage of that. We can create for students an East Coast and West Coast network. When they finish their degrees, they will have colleagues and business associates, not only here, but in Philadelphia. You know, I told a story earlier today, I want to tell again today, when I was on the main campus in University City just 3 weeks ago. I was walking around campus and I saw these great signs for Dr. Stephen Chu, who was going to be lecturing that afternoon at 4 p.m. on the Drexel campus. Now, thanks to Mrs. Matsu, I've had the chance to meet Secretary Chu, but not everybody in Sacramento has. And I was thinking to myself, great, 4 o'clock in Philadelphia, perfect, 1 o'clock in Sacramento. You know, we could be downloading Mr. Chu, Secretary Chu's remarks, and we could be participating. This is going to open up opportunities for us politically, socially, business-wise, and for our students. Just think of it, that when you finish this degree, you're going to be able to be conversant in both coasts. You're going to have business associates in both places. What an incredible and unique advantage for a student who gets a degree. Well, lastly, let me just say that one other thing that I see about this great institution is the wonderful alignment that I believe is in place with regard to our look built to the next economy. You know, the next economy is certainly going to be driven by some incredibly different forces than the last economy was driven by. I mean, just look, for example, at the great convergence of sciences and technologies that are happening all around us. Here in Sacramento, biology and engineering and bioengineering. Look at all of the ways that people are bringing the tools of information science and other sciences and technologies together. You know, the students that we are responsible for going into the future are not going to only need to understand those things, but to use them as tools, to know them so well that they can manipulate technologies to get the outcome they are after. That's a whole ratcheting up of where we can in the past. And I think that is particularly resonant with Drexel because of the embracing of creativity and technology and innovation. Secondly, I think we're in an era of constrained resources. We're not coming out of it anytime soon. I think that's something that's going to drive us to think differently and drive us to become creative and stay creative because that's how we're going to survive and thrive. And then lastly, of course, there's this interest in globalization that any good university has an interest in today, but I think this one has demonstrated it in actions more than words, particularly with the association that is being made in China and other places around the world. That globalization calls for us to develop in our students an instinct to collaborate across all cultures, across all diversities. These are very different skills from what we have taught students. I think the unifying theme across all of these drivers is the need for education to just be obsessive about innovation and creativity. And I believe that's what we have found in Sacramento, in Drexel University. So let me close today just with a couple of things. I too would like to thank Frank, who I know is looking eagerly forward to Christmas. I just have to say that when I was in Philadelphia, your dean, George Giuseppos, made a big point of showing me your empty office. It was really trying to help me understand the darkness, and I understand why. And I would also like to tell you that I am personally energized by my association with this new institution that I'm becoming better acquainted with by the moment. And I'm just going to sum up my my feelings about this institution and where we need to go with 2 words, and those words are brilliance and dedication. I think we continue to be dedicated in Sacramento to serving our students, to creating for them opportunities to become the leaders in this region and other regions around the globe. But I also see in Drexel a brilliance that I believe Sacramento can take great advantage of. And I couldn't be more delighted, and I thank you, President Frey, for giving me this opportunity.